Hello, welcome to Truth Sol. It's been a while and we're so happy to get back together again. And I have an amazing guest for us today. Her name is Miss Ashley Hamilton. Welcome, Ashley.
Hello.
I've known this girl for a minute and I'm humbled by her story. I'm encouraged and filled with so much hope. Everyone that's watching this, I believe, will get something out of it. So, Ashley, welcome and thank you for being here. You just amaze me with what you've overcome. A lot of us can feel stuck at times, and you've seen the darkness and you've seen the light. And I would just love for you to share your story with us today and a little bit of your background. You've overcome some things. Do you want to share that with us?
Sure. I'd like to first start by saying thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here and in great company and with your heart centered around Jesus. And that's just such a beautiful thing. So thank you for that. In terms of I don't know where to start.
Your background. No, that's okay, because I mean, you have a lot to share. So you have struggled with addiction.
Yeah, primarily, addiction, and ultimately, my flesh. Yeah. And, just battling the things of this world, and addiction is primarily a really sore spot for me. And there's a lot of things that spiraled out from the addiction. It just created a lot of chaos that ensued from it. It's sometimes hard. It's nothing to brag about, but it, just the knowledge that I have about being around the people, places, and things associated with that stuff. The choices that I've made that, did not serve me well. So
it's real life experiences, and that's what's going to be used for good moving forward in your life.
Yeah.
I've been able to watch over the years the transformation in you, and that's what's been beautiful to watch. And
that gives me hope.
Oh yeah, me too.
Thanks.
And starting at a young age, you had an environment that maybe wasn't best for the things that you're drawn to. Tell me about your environment when you were younger.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think a lot of people would say it was a typical household, pretty regular, but from the outside looking in, I was definitely a product of absent parents, especially emotionally. And my parents didn't have a whole lot of tools to disciple me in the way that I should go. And they were also battling a lot of their own stuff. And so I just, I'd be around arguing a lot. And my sister and I would, be in the midst of some pretty big arguments between them. I guess my mom battled with addiction as well when I was younger, and things that kind of didn't really come out until later. And looking back, I see it now as to the links of the life that I was living and kind of the surroundings I was in when I was younger. But we didn't really ever do anything as a family, just a lot of dysfunctionalism. And in turn, I think it made me a prime target for the enemy to swoop in and just sink his claws into me. And so, and then I got lost in the ways of the world of seeking, just things that were not good for me.
Was it that you were looking for an escape, or you just liked that feeling, or?
Yeah, I would say essentially yes, the escape, but also at my age, I think, gosh, do you remember MTV?
Yeah.
The way they glorified?
Yes.
And the party scene.
So fun.
Yeah. And it was like, if you're not doing that, you're not cool.
Sure.
And being such a young age, I mean, it's like, that's what I thought you had to do to be cool. And so it was just, and these small decisions every single day over time created this, pathway in my brain where I thought it was okay to just dabble in this here, dabble in this there. I had no idea the way things were going to turn out to be long term, with living that way of life.
Yeah. What was the first thing you dabbled in?
Yeah. So pot.
Okay.
Cigarettes, actually, at the age of 9. I know a lot of people would probably say, where were your parents? That's a really good question. Yeah. So yeah. Cigarettes.
9.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I don't. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe I did.
Yeah.
Oh, but hold on though. It actually made me sick. Yeah. Cigarettes and pot. It made me really, really sick. And that's interesting looking back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was pot, and then what happened?
By the age of 13, it was alcohol and acid.
At 13.
Yeah. And then by 15, I tried meth. And I remember distinctively thinking to myself that I never want to come down.
After meth.
The very first time I tried it.
Let's talk about that, because in high school I knew a few people that were dabbling with meth. And I have heard that is extremely addictive from the beginning. So what was your experience with that?
Yeah, I just remember I was hanging out with a boyfriend at the time and all of his friends, and I didn't realize that they were kind of like going to different parts of the house to do it. And I thought I was just like staying up with them, and okay, it looks like we might be pulling an all-nighter, but then it just got to a point where I'm like, how do you guys do this? And they offered it to me. I tried it, and yeah, I sat there and I just remember thinking I never want to come down from this. It became very quickly a weekend thing. After not too long, I'd say in less than a year, the weekend thing trickled over into Monday and then Tuesday, ditching school to a point where I dropped out of school, but also got kicked out and didn't know because I was never there. I later found a really old piece of mail saying that I was essentially kicked out. And I was like, this is dated for like a long time ago, months ago. And
so these are ages 15 through 17, maybe?
Yeah, about that. Yeah. When that guy and I broke up, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. So just kind of on the straight and narrow for the most part, but still just very immersed in the party life. And try to get jobs here and there. Those didn't last very long. I just remember feeling really lonely, really lonely all throughout my life. When I look back, it was just no real connection. And so I would say that I guess the drugs, they do essentially add a bit of an escape, but I would soon find out that you can't escape for very long. And later in my addiction, when everything was a complete mess and then some, it was more of a distraction than anything. It served as that.
And how many years on and off were you dealing with that? Just meth and other, drinking, alcohol, whatever it was. Yeah. Like a decade or...
Yeah. So the first time, like after, trying meth, I dabbled in it. Well, towards the end, it became full-fledged addiction. More than a dabble. It was 10 years.
Okay. That's a long time.
And then I got pregnant with my son.
Okay.
But yeah, so the 10 years and towards the end of that era, I was living a wild and crazy life. I was dancing, and
was that an easy way to make extra money, or is something that your friends did? Or?
Yeah, my girlfriends and I did it, and we looked at it as like we're just having so much fun and.
Nowadays, I would say OnlyFans.
I
hear young girls joke like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just being real. I have a high schooler, and girls joke like, I can make so much money. And I'm sure with dancing, I know it's different because it's in person. It's not behind a screen or anything, but that's kind of what people are doing now. But so you were dancing and...
Ooh.
Did you feel extra lonely when you would go home from things like that, or? I'm just curious.
And no, I think the times that I would feel the most lonely was when I would come down.
Makes sense.
And I would just cry. it's interesting because looking back, I'm just so filled with the Holy Spirit now that then I want to believe that he was in me, but sin and Jesus can't be in the same place at the same time. And so it's like, I know that he never left, and it's us who turn our faces away from him in sin
every time.
And so, but it was very, very lonely. I would say it just almost felt equivalent, like not even the Holy Spirit was in me. It was just so lonely. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
like a dark pit. Huh?
Yeah. Or maybe he was there. Huh? Yeah. But yes, ultimately
he was,
a dark pit.
But we go away. Yeah. I could imagine.
Yeah,
that makes
all the
sense.
stuff that you're not thinking about, it all comes flooding back, and it just catches up with you. And, it's very lonely and sad and miserable in a lot of ways.
That's something, whether drugs or not drugs, we have experienced loneliness, maybe not to that degree, because I can't imagine going from a 10 to a 0 when drugs are out. And that's why you want to keep doing it, because nobody likes feeling like 0,
Right.
And so that carried on for around 10-ish years. And at what point did you end up in the hospital with an aneurysm?
So that was the second round of, well, I guess people will say if they relapse that they essentially go back out. And so it was during the second time that I went back out. So essentially used for 10 years, got pregnant, had my son. And then, and I want to highlight during that time, while I was clean after I had my son for those 4.5 years, I was even doing a drug court program. I had to see the same judge every day for over a year.
Right. And you had to take a bus, right?
I had to take a bus.
Like that was not...
I had to learn how to take a bus.
Yeah. Well, because I need to make sure that people realize that took a lot of effort, work, determination.
It really did. I just didn't really have any life skills or anyone to lead by example. Yeah. And so I remember when them telling me, you're going to have to get here 3 days a week and take the bus. And I thought, what if I have to go to the bathroom? I just didn't know what that looks like. And then after the fact, I'm like, oh, okay, people do this every day and they're okay. No one wet their pants.
Right. What if I have to go to the bathroom? That's hilarious.
It's like life skills. And and I mean, sadly, there's so many children right now in this world that just don't have these life skills and they don't know.
They have no idea. Yeah.
And so, all that to say, did the drug court for 14 months, the 9+ hours of intensive outpatient group therapy every week, did a meeting a day and got my paper signed because the judge ordered me to. I mean, I put a lot of time and effort and work and energy into completing this program. And a lot of the stuff that they have you do, it is good things. Like, I mean, one of my assignments that I had to do because I was getting in trouble by the judge was making appointments and sticking to them. Yeah. And my assignment was literally like, I had to reach to the judge. I'm like, when someone makes a appointment with me, I will stop what I'm doing. I will take out my book. I will write it in my book. I will check it often, and I will.
Sometimes that's what we need, right?
Yeah. And I'm reading it, and after the fact, I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, it's not that hard. Why am I having such a hard time just grasping on, just doing these simple adult things?
It's like you were in the midst of rewiring your brain too. Yeah. It makes sense that it was hard. I think this executive function. There are coaches for that. I just learned because.
Amen to those coaches. Seriously,
right.
That's
and
some real
you have
work.
all just come out of this other world. We have to sometimes start from scratch. And how do we keep a schedule and a calendar?
Super, hardcore, doing all the things, and I did it by the world standards and the worldly wisdom. And so I got clean that way for the first time for those 4.5 years. And then looking back, I see I wasn't doing it with Jesus. And I honestly contribute that to my relapse because I that 4.5 years is as far as I got doing it with the worldly wisdom. Yeah. And so all that to say, after I relapsed or went back out, I was out there for another 6 years. And so I went through a really, really hard period where I just couldn't seem to get it together. Couldn't seem to snap out of it, and just struggled. I was trying to do the right thing for my son and just couldn't seem to grasp life. I don't know how to describe it, but that was an area where I thoroughly struggled with trying to get it together. And every place that I went in life, it just felt void, this emptiness. And I remember in that 6 years, I even researched, like, am I demonically possessed? Because I just couldn't seem to figure out what was so strong about this drug that was keeping me from the love of my child.
Yeah.
And I would say after my research, I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I'm possessed. But looking back, I mean, I was definitely battling some demons and on the front lines.
Battle in your mind.
Yeah. There's we battle three things in this world: ourselves, the enemy, and the world. So it was just a combination of all that.
So you've done drug court. You've figured out a schedule, a calendar. You get your son back. Things are going well. And then life happens. You go back out. And what happens from that point?
So essentially, you know, got clean, went back out. I think I was running on my flesh a lot. That's kind of one of the main factors of going back out. And then I want to say it was like the Matthew scripture, and I forget which one it is, but talking about how the house is unoccupied, and then a demon comes with 7 more deadly than the one before, and essentially takes over. And I want to say,
people say back with a vengeance. That's the verse 7 times.
Yes,
what it was. Yeah,
and also people will say, like, if you're in addiction and you get out and you go back, you will literally pick up right where you left off. You're not going to like start to like kind of just dabble back in.
Yeah,
you'll essentially pick up right where you left off. And I can testify to that. That has been so much a part of my story. And so many times that I said that I'm going to get clean, I'm going to get clean. And every time I meant it with my whole heart, and I had good intentions, but just really struggled.
And picked up right back from where you were.
I left off.
Undoing all of that progress you made.
Right. And totally just surrounded by horrible people, places, and things. And met a guy who it was one of the worst environments that I had ever been in. Looking back, I see that God used that to help push me out of that life. And so I was it got to a point where this guy would literally give me anything that I wanted, but the second I tried to leave, he would send me pictures of my clothes on fire, or he would follow me or get on the bike. I mean, I just couldn't seem to get away, and just very possessive, very narcissistic, very scary. And not to mention, he lived in the house with all of his brothers. And so they would literally physically fight, and they were constantly stealing each other's stuff. Like, it was just such a war zone.
Were they all using?
They were all using.
So they were in their right mind.
I mean, and the way that this guy would be, I just loathed him by the end of it all. And I mean, honestly, I did. I just couldn't stand this type of person. Oh, and so we were trying to leave the house that we were living at. He said that he had had enough of his brothers, and said that they were moving and didn't pay rent, and was packed up. Everything's out. The brothers are finally getting out, and that guy and I are at his house. I remember I was laying there one night coloring, and I just felt this wave of dizziness come over me, so much so where just my entire world was literally like spiraling like that, and I couldn't seem to stop spinning in my head. I felt like I heard and felt like twigs crackling in my head. I had tinnitus really bad in my ear. I had that guy take me to the hospital, And the next thing I know, they're transporting me from that hospital down south to a hospital that has a good neurological team because they told me I was having an aneurysm.
How scary.
It was very scary. Yeah. And
were you alone, or was this guy with you during that?
he was with me until I got transported down south. And
were you on drugs at that time?
I was very heavily. Yeah. And so, got to that hospital, and I just have to say that the team there that took care of me, amazing, like such a good team of people. I felt so much love from them, and they cared for me so well. And I just kind of remember drifting in and out, being in the ICU. And I think one of the nurses, like, he had to keep me awake. He kept talking to me, and I just kept thinking to myself, I'm so tired. I just want to go to sleep. Like, I'm so tired. I cannot stay up and talk to you. But he was intentionally trying to keep me awake.
Interesting.
So they had kept me there for a week in the ICU. They closely monitored me. It was a 4-millimeter brain pseudoaneurysm. So it's one that's essentially about to pop. And so I ended up leaving. Nothing really came of it. And then the next week, I just had a really bad migraine. And I just thought, if this thing pops, like, how long do I have until I bleed out? And so I went back to the hospital, and they did another CAT scan, and they said that the tissue had ripped and that I was in fact leaking blood in my brain area. So they kept me in the ICU for another week. And
yeah, because I would imagine that first time that you were there for a week, they told you what to look for moving forward, right? Because I'm sitting here like, they just sent you on your way.
They did. Yeah, truly.
Okay.
I felt like there were so many questions left unanswered where I just didn't really know, like, what are the next steps? How do I care for this? Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So the following week it happens, and you start leaking blood into your brain
area, right? The tissue had ripped.
Okay.
Yep. Leaking blood in my brain area. It was back in this region.
No big.
And, but yeah.
So you went back for another week.
I went back for another week, but during this time, it was just such a lonely time in my life. And during that first time when I was in the hospital, I called my sister and I said, I'm having an aneurysm. And she had told me that she was busy. And it's interesting too, because I really contemplated on who I was going to call, because at that point, everyone was so fed up with me, and rightfully so. No one really wanted to hear from me. And my family is one that they give the worldly wisdom of tough love. And that does, it works in a lot of ways. And I get it why people do that. But I had really reached a point where I needed compassion more than anything. I needed someone to see me as a human being and not the decisions that I was making. So yeah, when my sister said that she was busy, it was devastating.
Another dagger.
Yeah. But looking back, God used that, and I needed that, because after just being so, convinced that I was going to die alone and miserable.
I bet.
And all I could think about was my son at that time, and didn't know, just very, very lonely. So after that, I tried to get on with some like 12-step programs, get into a rehab or something, tried to get my belongings situated to go away for 6 months. I had a bed lined up. I just couldn't. It was like I would use for a week, then get clean for a week, use for a week. I was just teetering on it, just miserable for about 9 months. And then, then I was like living with that guy. And there was a night where, for whatever reason, we took acid, and I had such a profound experience that night.
Profound how?
So all throughout my addiction, I knew that my son needed me, and I knew that I needed him. Like, there was nothing in my mind that could change it otherwise. And that night in particular, I just remember looking so deep into my own eyes in the mirror, where I just had this reflection of the way drugs had infiltrated my life, and the way it had rippled out from me into those around me that I loved, the way it had affected my son. the only thing that my dad even knows about drugs is the things that I brought near him, my lifestyle and bringing it close to him. And it was just such a profound, like, Ashley, how could you do this? And so angry at myself. I was like looking up, oh my gosh, I was coming for myself. I'm like, you're crazy. How could you do this? Look at what you've done. And got to a point where I was going to unalive myself that night. It was at that point where something in me had switched, and I said, Ashley, you are such a piece of crap. In fact, your son is better off without you. Then I had also experienced something very demonic, like a very dark entity. It visited me, and it was like climbing up the wall, like oil, and it would inch up the wall, and when it would come back down, it would like spew, and I could even like hear sounds of it spewing. Crazy. And I just remember looking at it and just feeling, words cannot describe the amount of disgust that I sat with that night. And I didn't know that many tears could come out of me. Truly, all I could think about was my son and the way everything had happened. I just couldn't stop crying. And I'm with that guy, and I'm looking at him, and I'm crying, and it's like I'm lonely and I'm sad, and I reach for him, but then I look at him and I'm like, oh, but anyone but you, like, I don't like you. You're a prickly. You're not good to me. And so yeah, it just got to a point where
that is profound,
extremely demonic.
And but also I see from listening this moment of you actually breaking, you know, like your spirit breaking down. Yeah,
I wasn't quite there yet, because after leaving the environment, I took off on my bike, and I just think that God had lifted this veil. Yes, I was on acid, but the way that it interacted with me that night, on the bike, trying to get away from him, and I was screaming because there were wolves, not real, and coyotes trying to bite the back of the bike, and I was just trying to get away. And it literally, to me, looking back, it was, it resembled, the veil being lifted in the spiritual realm, the battle for my soul.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Where did you go on your bike?
I rode to a gas station, asked to use their phone. They told me it was dead. And I just thought to myself, you probably can tell that I'm all messed up, so you probably just don't want me to use your phone. That's what I thought. But I, in fact, actually ended up working at that same gas station within a week of getting out of jail, and their phone was really broken.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's not the one that Russ goes to, is it?
It is.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's another story.
Yeah.
But wow. So their phone really was broke.
Their phone really was broke. So I went to just a block over to where I ended up actually living right in the beginning of my sobriety. So, I knocked on the door. The sun had just come up, and I said to the lady, I said, he did it again, and I just I cannot do this. And I said, I want to call the police, and I'm still, on drugs, but the police show up. I give them my statement, and then they had ran my name, and I had a warrant out because I hadn't been in touch with my probation officer. And so, and it was just such a blessing. I'm like, good. I'm like, take off all my jewelry. I'm like, take my hair tie out. Like,
I've heard
they do that
before.
I'm like, put me in cuffs.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can go there. I'm safe. It's somewhere to go, because I couldn't go anywhere else. I just remember being on the bathroom floor waiting for the police to show up, and I was on my knees just bawling, like, God, take this from me. Like, do with me what you will. Like, I literally cannot do this anymore. And I'm just so desperate. I'm so desperate for another way. And, at this point, it was 9 months after the aneurysm. jail was a revolving door for me that last 9 months or so. Kept going to jail, kept getting charges, and trying to tell the judge and the DA, this is what I have going on. Like, I had an aneurysm. I'm trying to get into treatment. Nothing seemed to be working out. I'm trying to orchestrate it in my own strength. And just not understanding why God's not opening up a door. And this morning in particular, I'm like, God, like, do you see me? Do you hear me? I am desperate. I am miserable. Like, I am not okay. I'm like getting ready to take myself out. And I'm just it's on another level of desperation. And truly, I would say that that's what God did. He blessed me with the gift of desperation, where I would stop at nothing to figure out how to live a life that would not result in a lonely, miserable death. And then through that, it turned into me figuring out how to live a life that would glorify God. But went to jail that morning, and I just remember it was as though literally the chains were broken, because I just am in the back of that cop car and everything was so vibrant. The birds were chirping. I mean, it was literally like you're painting on your wall, and with the sun coming up right there. And I just felt this sense of peace wash over me. And I was in jail for a week. They revoked and reinstated my probation. And I got out, and I called that lady whose house I was at, and I said, they just let me out. I haven't used, because I can tell you there were so many times I got out, I used, I regretted it. I called her. She's like, you can't come here. You used. And so I said, I have not used it. But when I tell you that I knew that I was done, and I didn't care what it looked like. After the, not consecutive, obviously, but the 16 years of using and having the obligation to the state of Colorado as many times as I did, and you hear all these different things with the drug court and the probation and the group therapy, individual therapy, all these things. I knew what I needed to do by that point. And I was like, I don't care, I don't care how hard it's going to be. I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. And can I please come to your house, and please don't make me leave?
Yeah.
I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Please.
And she believed you.
She did. She very skeptical, obviously.
Sure. But it sounds like you were honest with her in the past when you had used.
I was brutally honest with people.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
She may have felt like, well, in the past she's told me when she has used, so maybe this time she's telling the truth. You said you hadn't.
Right.
What a great lady. She took you in. She sounds smart too.
She's dealt with it quite a bit in her life, for sure. Yeah.
Has she? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, just, people be people in. So
yes. The desperation thing. I hear it as that desperation turned into determination. Ooh. And I love things like that. I really appreciate Tim Tebow, and he's talked about a setback becoming a setup for something amazing.
Let's go.
And to hear desperation, but I'm seeing determination, because you're like, I am done.
Right.
And I will do whatever it takes. And that was new for you. And that veil had been lifted, and you had seen, the depths of hell, I would say. You remember so vividly that experience after you did acid, and the black oil thing going. It sounds like a straight up Stranger Things episode. So I freshly have watched the finale, so that's coming in my mind wow, I feel like it's just like that. So you do that. This woman takes you back in, and then what?
Yeah, that day I started over with just the clothes on my back. And so God had to get me to a place where I had nothing and no one to turn to but him. And then he ended up using my addiction to bring me closer to him. That lady, she gave me some clothing to wear after I'd showered that next day. And she actually took me to the thrift store and got me some clothes. And I had a job within a week of getting out of jail. So randomly, there was a 7-Eleven just a couple blocks up the house. Got a job there. It was a God thing. She actually knew the lady who worked with her mom or whatever. So it just kind of, opened that door. And, was able to work, pay off the state little by little, and started paying rent for the first time in my life. 34 when I decided to show up for my life. And
but you showed up.
I did. I showed up, and I didn't want to leave. And then COVID happened. And a lot of people will say, oh, that was horrible and whatnot. But I'm like, that was one of the best years of my life. That was the year I got my life back.
Wow.
And God orchestrated it in such another beautiful way, because everything was shut down. The temptation wasn't there. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. I was literally doing what everyone else was doing, going to work
amazing,
and going home.
though, because I would feel like there was a lot more boredom, so maybe more temptation, but not for you. And I'm so glad.
Yeah, same.
So glad.
Yeah, God is so good. That's like, he did that, you know, just even in the details, that's what he does.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And so in your walk with, and I realize maybe not everyone listening to this, you know, is a Christian or any, I don't know, but I do know that in the church, people can say things that they shouldn't, and it's ignorance, maybe. Did you ever experience that? I guess I'm kind of asking for advice too, like, because I would never want to say the wrong thing. Do you ever run into anything like that, or did you have a good experience? I don't know.
Going like back into the
like did you go back to church or what?
I very much did. Yes, I ran back full throttle. I just wanted to get so immersed in any way that I possibly could. I just wanted to get plugged in. I wanted to three-prong
surround yourself with a good environment. Three-prong. I like that,
because those are harder to rip out of the wall, you know.
That's hilarious.
So wanted to get super plugged in, and then I just had that excitement and that vigor in me to want to go out and do the things that I didn't do for so long, and to just, you know, get to experience all these things. There's so much good in life, and it really is in the little things. And so, went to church. I was chatting with a friend and the officer that, what do you call it when they,
parole officer?
That's, I wanted to say that too. When they like
church officer?
Yeah.
The
security.
Okay.
Security. Okay.
Security.
We're doing great. And it was myself, the security officer, and another gentleman, and we're talking about something. However, it gets brought up, and addiction's kind of in there. And I said, I have some ties to that. And the officer literally looks at me and he goes, I was going to say something. I was going to ask. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and, so I don't know, in that context, it was a moment where I find myself in the bathroom looking at my face like, is it always going to be here? Will it ever leave me?
Oh,
you know? And so, for the record, people are people, you know, and so, but God is God, and he never changes. He's always the same.
Right.
Even times when I'm like, God, help me represent you well. I want to represent you well. But so that guy, he didn't do it necessarily. And can I just say too, that I have had so many times where after I said something, I'm like, why did I say that?
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And some of us think before we speak, and who knows, but I'm sorry, because that I could see that just kind of sinking you. And
it was hard.
And so you moved on at some point somewhere else. And
I actually, where I'm at now, I do, prison ministry with the men's prison and the women's prison. And so I think that it's so interesting, even in the hard stuff, how God can take that. I found a great community that I just adore, and serve the least of these, and come across some just really incredible people that are on the inside there. And even ran into a gal that I used to use with. When I first saw her, the first thought I had was, she's alive.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you wonder.
And that's the thing. And you are alive too. Some people
I
don't
am
make
alive.
You are. And some people, and you're not just alive, you're living. You're living your life. And you've made it. And you're on the other side.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have you back sometime to talk about prison ministry, because that's really fascinating.
It's powerful.
But you're on year what now of sobriety?
6.
Yes.
Year 6.
And you are so different. Yeah.
I have my moments.
The encouragement. I mean, what God can do.
I have my moments where I think I'm proud of you, Ashley. But
so glad.
Ultimately, I couldn't have done it without him. And I did it his way. And that's why things are so different. Truly just applied his word to my life in a way where it completely sanctified me, and continues to do so. And he's not done. And I'm honestly so excited. You got to get excited. If you're going to do it his way, you got to get excited about
That's
what
right.
he's going to do.
I'll be your hype man.
Yes.
Yes. You do have to get excited. Do you have any advice for someone that has relapsed? What would you say to them?
Oh, I would say you're not alone. That God can do anything with anyone at any time, anywhere. And to just reach out to him, call out to him. He is right there. No matter how far you wander away from him, the return is literally one step. Even just the shifting of your eyes back onto him, and he'll be right. He's there. And to whatever it is that you're holding on to, let it go and have your hands open to receive the blessings that he has for you, because he has good plans for you. He can do it. If he can do it with me, he can literally do it with anyone. I'm a product, a prime example of just the most stubborn hard-headedness, thinking I can do it my way. And every time God literally kicked in the door of my life and was like, this is not what I have for you. This is not where you're supposed to be. And it's so hard because I'm trying to tell you that this is not what I have for you. And choose your hard, because it's hard on the other side as well. But
choose your heart. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Choose your. I like that. Choose your heart.
It's hard on the other side, but not like it is out there.
Right.
The luxury problems.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're in a good place now, and I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thank you.
I pray that vigor, that passion, and that excitement, I pray that will continue for you. I can't wait to watch what this leads to and all the things that you're going to continue to overcome.
Yeah.
What a powerful story. Is there anything else is on your heart to share? Or
I guess I just want to share a quick story about an encounter that I had with the Holy Spirit. This is the second and only other time where I audibly heard his voice. And it's just an example of just keeping our eyes on him. When I was in the beginning of sobriety, when I had made the decision that I was going to run after him full throttle with everything that I have, and I was so immersed in whether it was K-Love, church, social media, friends, family, all the different avenues that I was seeking him. The message at that time was keep your eyes on me. And I remember a long time ago, my sister, she had told me that, Ashley, when it's from God, it comes with confirmation that it's from him. But when it's from the enemy, it brings about anxiety and confusion. And so I had always kind of held on to that. And so at this time, every avenue I'm seeking God with my whole heart. The message is keep your eyes on me. And a little bit prior, I had met a guy and I fell for him pretty quickly. And then things didn't really work out for us. And so he lives on a busy street where his backyard faces this busy road to the store that I grocery shop at. Was literally just grocery shopped there today. It's right up the road from here. And I've been going there for about 12 years or whatever. So after things didn't really work out with this guy, and I, one day during this Keep Your Eyes on Me season, I just thought, I'm just going to slow down and see if his light's on. And the second I turned my head, I audibly heard the Holy Spirit say, that's how easy it is to take your eyes off of me. And it was a moment where I turned my face back to the road, and I'm like trying to put your mouth up. I'm like, what? And it was just silence. I couldn't say anything. I was frozen. I was like, okay, God, I hear you. So just such a testament to just even just the shifting of the eyes. That's how easy it is for us to take our eyes off of him and to turn to the flesh. Yeah. And we want to be walking in the Spirit. So to be intentional about walking in the Spirit. Such a God story. Yeah. I just want to share that with people, that's how easy it is to take your eyes off of him, and that truly to get through anything in life, just keep your eyes on him.
That's so good. Thank you so much. Yeah. Please reach out if anyone's listening that has questions or wants resources or whatever it may be. Just shoot me a message. Thank you so much, Ashley, for being here today.
Appreciate you.
And for our Truth Salt family, for sharing this time with us. I hope you were encouraged, and we'll get together again really soon. Take care.